Hello, everyone. My name is Brock, and welcome back to Midnight Sports Talk, the podcast and talk show of Midnight Sports Today. I am very excited to be joined by a special guest. He was the star of the critically acclaimed Netflix series Last Chance U and is now a wide receiver at the University of Hawaii. I'm happy to welcome Dior Scott to the show. Welcome, Dior.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Brock.
Thank you for being here. So let's just jump right into it. How are you enjoying Hawaii so far?
I'm loving Hawaii. It was a different transition coming from like a fast city. So having a slow pace state, it was weird at first, but I'm starting to love it. Hawaii taught me so much about like family tradition, living aloha, everything's family oriented. So I really love being in Hawaii. Is really the best place for me as right now to grow as a man.
That's fantastic. Is there anything in particular about the family traditions or anything about the islands you've come to love or enjoy?
Came to love how they treat you like family from the first day out. I want to give a shout out to the Nozawa family. Um, they have shown me love, tremendous amount of love from the first day we met each other, and they always continue to show me love. So I want to shout out to them.
Definitely shout out to them. Have you had an opportunity to go to any family parties, luau's, things like that?
Oh yes, Thanksgiving. Went to a couple of their kids' football games, stuff like that. And plus, I'm going to like a white elephant party on the 24th, so I can't wait to do that.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Any certain local foods or luau foods, Kalua Pig, Lao Lao that you've really enjoyed?
Kalua Pig, that's a new one I'm getting into now. But I think for here, like what stand out to me the most, like everybody eat like a lot of rice. So like I'm starting to eat like a lot more rice now.
No, definitely, it's definitely a staple of the islands. I mean, rice at any luau party, spam eggs and rice is a big part of the culture. Definitely, uh, a lot of rice in Hawaii. Well, your football life has been shown, and now it's in Hawaii. Can you just take us through what a standard day in the life of Dior Scott looks like?
Okay. It all depends on what season we're doing. If we're doing off season, uh let's go wake up in the morning, wake up around 5 o'clock in the morning, eat breakfast, got workouts at 6 in the morning, from 6 to 7 or 8, 6 to 8, we have our workout times. And then from there, I take a shower. I have school from, let's go around 10 till 1 o'clock, or sometimes get pushed to 4 o'clock, depending on what class I'm in. And then afternoon, just trying to like study what I can do better, and just really just be at home, finishing homework, stuff like that. So my day is pretty busy in the beginning of the day, and at the end of the day is more laid back.
Gotcha. Walking through campus every day, do you ever get recognized being that you starred in Last Chance U?
I know, because like the mask, so it's kind of hard to really spot me. And like if I do get recognized, it'd be like I have to be in class and people like might recognize me, they might say anything. But really with the mask, it helped me like disguise myself a little bit more, which is pretty funny. And I'm getting kind of used to like not being recognized, stuff like that. It shocks me a little bit when people recognize me still.
That is pretty funny. I never really thought about the fact that the mask situation has really allowed you to kind of keep your identity low key. Being that football is such a big part of your life, you got a chance to play at Aloha Stadium, one of the great older stadiums in America, host of multiple Pro Bowls, the football team for UH and such. What was it like playing in such a venue?
When I first came, I didn't really know it has so much history behind it. So now like learning like that stadium has like a whole lot of history and stuff like that. I was kind of proud to be a part of that history. Uh, it was it was pretty big. Like the stands, the stadium, like even though we didn't have any fans, it's like looking around, like whoa, like I'm in Aloha Stadium. I'm looking at the fan, like I'm looking at the seats. It's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm at a D1 level and stuff like that. It was really surreal to me. And then transitioning from TC Ching, I felt like TC Ching was I feel like it was a better strategic move because I feel like all the students could come. It's an easier way for students to come. It was in town. College students could come. Everybody could come. So I feel like TC Ching was a better strategic move. Hopefully, we can get the stands packed out this year with less COVID mandates, but we will see.
Yeah, no, definitely. And actually had the privilege of, well, I didn't play per se, but when I was on the football team in high school, we would play our home games at Aloha Stadium. One of the craziest parts about it to me is that the stadium one used to be able to move and configure into a baseball stadium, which was odd. But can you kind of speak about what it was like in that locker room? It's a very old locker room with the fans really right above your head, very small bathrooms. Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah. It was really old. Like I felt like my locker room back in JUCO was somewhat better and was somewhat better than Aloha Stadium. But then once again, it's like Aloha Stadium, like all stars, all pros, and if NFL Hall of Famers was in that same locker room. So I can't complain because legends have been here before me. So I really was just gracious about like just being in that locker room, to be honest.
Yeah, no, definitely. You have the privilege of carrying on such a great UH football tradition. However, recently, as we all know, the program has faced some turmoil, especially with allegations of verbal abuse from then head coach Todd Graham. Last night, as we all know, Coach Graham resigned from his position. How were you notified about his resignation?
Uh I was notified through my roommates. I was out getting something to eat and then came back into my house and then they told me like, yeah, Graham resigned. So I didn't believe him. So I had to look on Twitter and seeing that hey, Graham resigned. So it was a crazy feeling. Just didn't know what was going to happen again. Going through another coaching change because when I first came here, that was when Rolo left, and then that's when Graham came. So now going through it again 2 years later, it's like okay, we're back at square one. So what are we going to do now?
By chance, did Coach Graham have an opportunity to address the team in a team meeting setting, or was it just like you said, you just found out over the news?
No, he addressed us. He gave us a heartfelt message about him going away. It was like I said, it was just kind of overwhelming. It was kind of like sudden the moment. So we were all shocked. Like we didn't know what to expect after. But the message he sent, it was heartfelt. I just want to say thank you for Coach Graham for giving me a scholarship and opportunity to continue my academic and collegiate career here. So I just want to thank him for that.
No, absolutely. And you touched upon this during the last episode of Last Chance U, but essentially you're getting recruited by Nick Rolovich and his staff. And the day you did come to Hawaii, he ended up leaving for Washington State and obviously had to deal with the transitions into a new program. Can you just quickly touch upon what that was like to kind of be in that level of uncertainty, moving to a place that you haven't really been before?
Yeah, it was scary. It's actually the same feeling I have now. Don't know who's going to stay. Don't know who's going to leave. Don't know how the offense going to change. It's really a gray area, and I'm scared to be in a gray area. But then once again, I know I can adapt. I have adapted to a lot of stuff in my life, so it's scary, but I know I can make it through again.
Yeah, absolutely. Your story is all about adapting. And one of the things that you have to adapt to now is that UH has recently named Jacob Yoro, the linebackers coach, as interim head coach. They've also announced that they will be having a nationwide search to fill the position. A lot of names have come up. The former head coach June Jones, former UH assistant Rich Miano, and a lot of other names with local ties have been mentioned. With all this uncertainty, how has the preparation for your 2022 season been coming along?
It's still we're still gonna I know we're still gonna work hard. We're still gonna train on Tuesday. Everything's still the same for us until further notice. I think for this 2022 season, we're trying to really build a brotherhood and not just say it just for show, but really have that brotherhood, really play for each other, not the mentality, oh, I'm gonna get mine. No, I'm fighting for my brother. I'm gonna play for my brother. So that's my expectation for this year, and also just to win games and go to the championship, go back to the championship. It's been a lot of ups and downs here, but I feel like we kind of needed this. We need this explosion. We needed to hit rock bottom. So now we can start building again. This could be our team, our brotherhood. So I'm just really excited for 2022. Uh, Whatever happens, just know I'm gonna give him my all. Wherever coach comes, I'm gonna give him my all, and they're gonna expect the best, nothing but the best from me.
No, absolutely. And you are at the forefront of a new era of UH football. You talk about that brotherhood. I know you guys were very close your previous 2 seasons you've been in Hawaii. However, a lot of your brothers, a lot of players, names like Darius Musau, Jonah Laulu, Justice Tavai, Shevin Cordero, Nick Mardner, and now recently Corey Bethley have announced their intentions to leave the program or have already left via the transfer portal. What was it like to see so many familiar faces, your brothers, leave the team?
It hurt. These were the first faces I seen when I came to Hawaii. So now seeing them on their journey, it hurts, but I'm happy for them. It's never gonna be ill words toward them because I know it's their plan, it's in God's plans for them to leave and do something better at a different location. So I can't wait to see all my brothers excel at their new school. And I know I'm gonna excel here. So it's still love. I'm still hit them, I'm gonna still reach out to them. It's love, and I hope nothing for the best for them.
Absolutely. And I just want to jump on that and just say that I wish the best for them too. I support them. Obviously, unfortunately, they won't be wearing the green H anymore. And I'm a little sad about that, but they worked so hard and played so hard for the university. And, especially this past season, seeing them upset, you guys upset Fresno State and beat Wyoming on the road. Definitely all the best to them in their future endeavors. Let's talk about the state of the program. Recently, as we all know, the Hawaii State Senate has made an inquiry into the athletics program, and one of the more revealing testimonies came from a written testimony from your teammate Colby White, where he talked about the nutrition program and fitness program, along with the fact that you recently tweeted, "It's always let's raise the money to do this and do that, but never let's raise money to raise the stipend checks and get the players bare nutrition and protein. Can we have that conversation too?" What are the meal plans and fitness programs that you would like, and what would you like to see be done to improve them?
So for the meal program, it's so for off season. I know for off season we don't get fed. During season we get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But the food we get is not. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but it's not state of the art. It's not something that we want to eat. It feels like it's forced food, and we really don't eat. So we have to use our own monies for our own nutrition and stuff like that. Where we're at a D1 program, and we're seeing all these other D1 programs eat better than us, and it's like, why can't we have the same stuff they have? Um, the protein shakes. We don't even have like real protein shakes now. So we just and like sometimes we can't get protein shakes because we don't have enough. So I feel like we should do as a state, we should do a better job of funding our not just football, just our whole athletics program. I feel like the whole athletic program need a reboot on food, better quality food, giving us more food so we can gain weight and still be fit for activity and stuff like that. And the protein, I feel like we should have better compact protein and better funding. To be honest, our stipend checks are like I said, I don't want to sound grateful again, but we get only so much and more than 60% of that goes to rent. So now we're only left with a few dollars to scrape up for food, utilities, and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard living in Hawaii, but once again, we make it do.
Absolutely. And for some of us who might be a little confused or behind the eight ball, can you talk more about the stipend checks and what their purpose are for?
So our stipend checks are they're for I know for off campus they're for our cost of living. It's supposed to help us with rent, utilities, food, and stuff like that. And that's all we get. Uh, but once again, we live in a state where the cost of living is so high, and our stipend checks really don't cover our way of needs in life. That's what I can say.
I
Like
got
we barely scrape by the end of the month. We're always looking for that next check.
Gotcha. Definitely, I want to touch upon the cost of living in Hawaii. As we all know, there's always higher costs of when it comes to living and transportation, things like that. Can you kind of speak about some of the things that others don't think about, like the cost of milk and eggs and other essential items?
Right. Like cost of milk here is what, $7, $8 here? Even sometimes nine. And you can go to California, it's like $4 or $5. Or going to South is like $2 or $3. And our stipend checks is less than those places I just named. I feel like our stipend checks shall at least represent how the cost of living out here. If not, just raise a little bit more so we can be a little bit more comfortable with paying our rent and just living everyday life. It shouldn't be a struggle for a scholarship player to live the way of life. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely, and that's just another stress that can be taken off your plate to focus more on your academics and on football as well. So Hawaii football is loved in the islands. Of course, there hasn't been as much people able to attend games, obviously now due to COVID, and there was a lot of, how do you put it, periods in football in UH football that weren't as successful. However, through Twitter, and other social media, I see a lot of people want to donate to the program and
Right.
try to help you guys out. Do you have a personal plan, goal, or idea for how you would like to see UH1 raise the money and to handle the money that comes in?
I mean, I want to a plan right now. I want to see if the government can get more involved into helping us and fans donate more money for the athletics program, so we can have better funding. We won't have to complain or not complain. We don't have to discuss this topic. Like I feel like the government should be more involved with this, and I feel like fans should want to contribute to help us out more, and we'll like graciously accept donations, stuff like that. I don't really know what's going on with that. I want to be more in tune on what's going on. So I think that's my short-term plan right now.
Gotcha. And this is just my personal statement that I just want to put in here. But in the days following the Hawaii State Senate inquiry, Hawaii State Senator Donna Mercado Kim stated that they would have been willing to spend the $1.2 million on Coach Graham's buyout. Obviously, that money will not be used for the buyout after the resignation. I would just like to see personally them use a portion of that money, if not all of it, that they say that they have, towards the program, something that I love, you love, we all benefit from so much.
Right.
And then, so thank you for providing insight into the program. Let's talk about you and your journey for a second. Obviously, as you previously mentioned, you were awarded a scholarship this past offseason at Hawaii. Can you speak about what it's like and what's the difference between being a walk-on player and a scholarship player at the Division I level?
Man, what's like being a walk-on player? It's hard. It's hard at any other school, but I feel like it's hard here. Yes, people's gonna have your back here, stuff like that, but it's that emotional feeling of seeing all your brothers getting a check and you're still trying to fight for scraps. That's what it feels like. For walk on, I feel like you're fighting for scraps. On the field and off the field. You gotta make some do. You still gotta pay rent here. You don't get all just because you're walking. Like life still goes on. So you fight extra, you work a little bit harder. You you want that rep, you want that last rep just so you can prove to the coaches, hey, I'm deserving that scholarship too. I have potential to be a starter and be an impact player here too. So being a walk on is extremely hard and is somewhat like JUCO. You're just trying to prove to everybody that you deserve to be up here and you deserve to get paid to be up here.
So you mentioned fighting for scraps. Now, obviously, you have to pay your own rent and tuition. Do you guys receive any of the meal programs or anything like that, or is that all just coming straight out of your pocket?
No, we also get some of the meal programs too. I know Coach Graham let us also eat as a walk on too, so that was graceful for him. But it's just like getting extra, giving a little bit extra money because you don't have that stipend check. Um, getting extra reps because you're looked in the back because you're a walk on, so you're not in front of the group because you're not you're not there to be paid for. Like it's an investment. So they're gonna put their investment up in the front, and then you're gonna get to see the walk-ons coming back again. So it's you have to fight for everything. Every day is a fight.
Gotcha. And you fought very well because I remember you seeing you on the field as a putt returner.
Yes.
Can you kind of talk about it was a very odd thing to see punt returners because you guys are put in such a very dangerous situation on the football field. Obviously, you got to field the ball. You got to call fair catch within a certain amount of time. You got people running at you. What's going through your mind when you're back there trying to receive a punt?
What's going through my mind back there is really just trying to catch the ball. Ball security is the first thing, and really just trying to maintain the ball and whatever happens after that is God's gift. God gave me that gift to really be me, really be free out there. So really just be smart with the ball and really don't worry about nothing else because nothing else really matters except for you and the ball. So that's how it feels to be out there. It's not really too nerve wracking that everybody makes it seem. It's kind of really fun. I love it. So I can't wait to be back there again and probably can see me on kick return too. We'll see.
I definitely look forward to it. You're a very explosive player, as shown obviously at Lady College and now at Hawaii. And one of the things you did at Hawaii was play in the 2020 New Mexico Bowl. Now, in that game, Hawaii was facing Houston in Texas because of COVID protocols. UH was coming in as an 11-point underdog, and you guys won the game fairly convincingly, 28-14. Can you describe your experience playing in that bowl game and what did it mean to you to win such a game?
It was the experience was crazy. It was my first bowl game as a D1 athlete. We're in Texas, so it's kind of far from home. Uh, yeah, people really counted us out, and I think we came together more as a team and to really show everybody, to prove everybody that hey, we should be on the map. Like we're really a good team and stuff like that. So for us to really win the game, it meant a lot to me to really see me and my brothers really come together one more time and really win a bowl game. It was really a surreal moment in my life, and I hope I hope we can do that again for my 2 years here. Get win another bowl game.
Absolutely. And in that game, your teammate and your brother, Calvin Turner Jr., went off to have an incredible game. I believe he had a rushing touchdown and a kick return touchdown, amongst others. You talked about, trying to fight for scraps against guys like scholarships who have scholarships. What was it like trying to practice and compete with a guy like that? And what did a player with that much talent mean to your team?
Calvin made me competing with everybody made me a better player. Competing with Calvin, that made me a better player. So I feel like as a next year, I'm going to explosive, be more confident because I know all my brothers that left and including Calvin, they helped me become a better player. They helped me become a more confident player. They told me I can do the same thing that they're doing right now. It's just all up to my confidence level, and they helped me boost my confidence a lot. So, like I said, I'm really excited for what I have in store in this season.
I'm definitely excited too. Calvin Turner was obviously a receiver, but he was more of an athlete as well. He went all over the
Yes.
field, played quarterback, running back, receiver, returner as well. And I see a lot of those same traits in you, so I'm very excited to see that in this upcoming season. Going back to the 2020 season and the 2021 season, what was it like having to play with the COVID protocols, and what was it like just managing your day-to-day life with it?
It was weird because you go through your whole life not going through COVID protocols. You go your whole life going in the weight room, no mask, playing on the field, no mask. Like like America was not ready for these COVID protocols. And as a football team, it was weird for us because we had to do a whole lot of rules that we were trying to get used to, like go to a weight room wearing masks. Like that's kind of it's kind of hard to breathe when you're trying to lift weights and stuff like that. I think in the beginning it was first you had to wear a mask to play football, but then it was like you can take off your helmet and put the mask on, stuff like that. So it was kind of weird. It was a whole lot of nitpicking rules that we were not used to. And we just had to adapt, to be honest. And I feel like we did a great job adapting to it. Uh, we're still trying to learn like how to live with this COVID protocol stuff because I don't see it going away anytime soon. So we're still trying to learn and adapt on how we can be safe and still play the game we love.
No, absolutely. And Hawaii, the state in general, has one of the most stringent and toughest COVID rules out there. Do you feel that it's been a challenge to work with these protocols? Do you feel like they're too much? Or what would you like to see change? Or do you think it's perfect just the way it is for the program and for you as a football player?
I feel like it was a challenge. You know, when TC Ching first opened up and the season first started, I think we were the only stadium. We was the only team that couldn't have fans in a home game. So that kind of hurt us like mentally, saying, "Well, like we're the only school that can't have fans in a home game, and we love the fans. I know the fans love us." So that was kind of weird. And then it just everyday living, it was just kind of hard because of how strict these mandates were, and like hearing some of the stories back in the mainland where everything's like almost free. So it was kind of weird for us. We didn't know how to really deal with it and cope with it, but we just put our head down and keep working.
Gotcha. I want to now kind of turn to your time at Laney. You won a state title at Laney College with your now UH teammate Jared Smart. What did it mean to have a teammate like Jared at Hawaii who went through such a similar experience to you, leaving JUCO, going across the Pacific and such?
Yeah, having Jared especially as a team at Laney and Hawaii, it helped me a lot through my process here at Hawaii. He taught me a whole lot. I told him, I said, man, I'm always gonna look up to. And I don't look up to a lot of people, so he's one of like the few people I really look up to. He's helped me a lot, not as just as a football player, but also as like a person, as a man, like just how to be a better person and stuff like that. So I always appreciate Jared and what his family did for me. Um, really just I learned some life lessons by him, stuff like that. So I'll always keep in my mind and stuff like that. So I really appreciate having Jared for these past three, 4 years, because it's crazy because you never really think after JUCO you're gonna play with some of your teammates. But for me to have Jared at Laney in Hawaii, it was truly a blessing.
Absolutely. And funny enough, Jared actually did make a brief appearance on the show last chat you, where he did berate you for being you were forced to play quarterback due to injuries in the for the quarterbacks at Laney. What did you take away from playing quarterback? Do you feel that affected your recruiting process? And would you like to, if you had the opportunity to go back and redo anything from that?
Yes, I feel like me playing quarterback in Laney did affect my recruiting process. Not my playing abilities, just mentally. I was thinking too much, and that's what low key hindered my game a little bit. Not being not being confident, think I won't get a scholarship just because I'm playing quarterback. I don't have enough receiver film. But I realized that helped me out a lot because now I can be more versatile. Like coach see that as me being versatile, where I play offense. I just don't play one specific position.
No, absolutely. And touching upon your head coach at Laney, John Beam, he is no stranger to Hawaii. One has a lot of Polynesian connections, along with the fact that you and Jared Smart played for him. Beam coached one of the greatest University of Hawaii wide receivers of all time in Devon Best when both of them was at Skyline High School. Can you talk about Coach Beam, his coaching style, and how he impacted you?
Man, Coach Beam coaching style is it's how can I say it's old school. How can I say it's old school. He's gonna be hard, but he's hard on you because he loves you and he cares about you. He wants to see you succeed. So that's what I love in the coach. Like he always told me to be a star. He always told me to be great and stuff like that. And then his coach style was really passionate. He was really passionate about his players. He cared about the wins and losses a little bit, but also he cared about making sure making sure all his players graduated, all his players did something better with their life. And that's what I miss about Coach Beam. And yeah, he coached Devon Best. I talked to Devon Best and he told me that Coach Beam helped him out a lot of stuff like that. So having having Beam as a coach really helped me produce my game too. He helped me be a star. He helped me be confident in myself. Like, hey, I'm that dude. Give me the ball when it's critical times. He believed in me more than I believe in myself sometimes.
Absolutely. He seemed like he was a very fantastic coach on the show. One of the things that was covered briefly on the show, but obviously the cameras weren't around for it, was your guys' state championship run. Can you just kind of briefly go over what that was like, what Beam was like during that run, and what did it mean for y'all to win a championship?
It's crazy. The beam y'all got on camera was not that wasn't the same. It was the same beam, but like a nicer beam, low key. Like Beam wasn't gonna show it. Beam wasn't gonna show his true self, which like yeah, he don't want to seem like that bad coach, but like Beam was always hard on us. Beam, but also he was passionate. He's gonna show his love, stuff like that. And then that 2018 season, that was really what a brotherhood was to me. That's when I really saw what a football brotherhood could be. That's what really instilled in me because I still talk to a lot of guys today. Some of his coaches now. I know Shawnee's in the NFL right now. John McDonald, he's preparing for the league. Jared's preparing for the league. Like a lot of people is preparing for the league and stuff like that. But to really go back and think about it, it was like, whoa, like we all were in this together. And it wasn't no, I'm gonna get mine, I'm getting mine. No, we all played for each other. And that's what I really love about this game of football. You make lifetime friends.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Shawnee. Are you referring to Nashawn, right?
Yes, Deshaun Wright.
So funny enough, he actually had a cameo appearance on the show playing against Hawaii, where his brother Rajon was making fun of him for getting cooked on a play.
No,
Was
no, no.
Ray?
Ray John was getting cooked. Shawnee told him was like, "Hey, you're getting cut."
Was it? Sorry,
Yeah.
I might have missed it out. I thought I remember them watching the game at his house, his mom's house, and then there
Oh,
was
okay. Yeah.
yeah.
That's it. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
they're some of the best trash talkers I ever heard in my life. Both of
Oh
them.
yeah.
But was Rajon as much of a talker in real life as he was on camera? And what was it like to practice against somebody who was regarded as one of the best corners in JUCO?
No, yeah. That is Ray in real life. That's not Ray camera. That's Ray. Ray gonna talk, but he backs it up. He's not. It's not cocky talk. It's confident talk. And like going against Ray, what every day I practice, Ray made me a better receiver. He taught me some stuff what to do at receiver, stuff like that. So going against a tall the receiver that's good as Ray, it made me prepared to go against anybody. I feel like Ray is the best corner I played against. So I feel like he prepared me for a lot.
Definitely, the Wright brothers are, well, they're a one of a kind talent. And then just in case people didn't know, Nashawn is actually in the NFL right now as a member
Yeah.
of the Dallas Cowboys. So just wanted to give congratulations to him. Let's talk about Last Chance U more in depth. What was that process like from going to be just a normal JUCO player to then having cameras around you 24/7? And how were you chosen to be one of the faces of the show?
So we didn't know who was gonna be like. We didn't know who's gonna be chosen. They just recorded like a select few of people, like not a select few, like I want to say at least like half the team. And then whatever we saw on the camera was our first time seeing it. So the transition from being a regular JUCO player to having cameras in your face, it was it was weird for like the first 2 weeks because we didn't believe Last Chance U was going to come to us because we watched Last Chance U. We know what it was about. So when they told us they was going to come to us, we didn't believe it. We was like, no, this is fake. So when they actually came with the tent and told us, yeah, you guys can be Last Chance U, we were all shocked and scared and stuff like I don't want to say scared. We were shocked. We was like, whoa, we're going to be not on national television. This is international. Like everybody in the world is gonna see this. So our main thing was just to really just be ourselves still. Don't try to change for the camera. That was our main thing. And so for having cameras in our face, like the first 2 weeks, it was like it was kind of nervous for us. Like we didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to interact and stuff like that because we were scared to really say what we want to say. But then like we was like, okay, like the camera crew became like part of the family. Like we didn't even care about the cameras at some point in time. It was just there. So it was kind of fun. I would do it again. I'm not gonna lie, I would do it again. It was pretty fun.
I know definitely as a fan of football, it was a fantastic show to watch. Do you, as you said, not only were you in it, you've also watched the previous seasons as well. Do you think they display an accurate representation of what a life in JUCO is really like?
Yes, yes. It depends. For us, they really displayed on what Cali JUCO football life is. I know it's different for in the South where they have scholarships stuff like that, but for California JUCOs, we have no scholarships, we have no dorms, so everything is out the mud. That's what we like to say. Like everything's out the mud. You have to get it yourself. We have players like 8 players deep in a 2 bedroom apartment trying to find a way and stuff like that. So they last chance to really show what we're about and what Cali JUCO is really about.
Absolutely. And one of the themes of your season in Oakland was about gentrification and how players and families were forced to have to commute into Oakland because the cost of living is so high. Can you kind of touch upon that, what it was like for you? Obviously, we're going to go more to depth with your story, but what it was like having to commute to Laney College every day and just handle your personal business?
Yeah, it was tough in the beginning when I first went there because I didn't have a car, so we had to use BART, and BART is a crazy experience. You don't know what to expect on BART every day. Every day is something new on BART. But the BART ride was I want to say 40 minutes from where I was live at to there. And then once I had my car, it was like 40 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic coming back home, I'll be in traffic for like 2 hours because everybody's commuting out of Oakland and San Francisco. So just for gentrification was a real big deal in Oakland. It still is to this day. We're still going through it. So it's wow, it's not a blessing. It's another lesson learned, to be honest, how to get through life when life gives you changes, how to adapt through life.
Absolutely. And one of the things that was prevalent in your story was adapting. You know, just not trying to go into detail, but obviously you had your football and collegiate responsibilities. You also had your work situation. You talked about having to work at Wingstop after practice and things like that, managing your living situation and any familial issues you may have. What was it like to have to balance all these different and daunting elements in your life?
You know, it was really nerve-wracking. Like you guys seen on the show where I had a panic attack, but then it showed like I had a panic attack before that practice too. I had an anxiety attack. I was just going through so much stress in my life, and my main goal was trying to get that D1 scholarship. But going through all this stuff in my life, it built up, and I was really scared to talk to people about how I feeling because I was scared to really open up and be vulnerable. And now I learned that that's not the best way to cope with your feelings, stuff like that. Like you need to reach out to somebody, you need to talk to somebody. It don't have to be everybody, it can just be one little person just to help you out and stuff like that. So it was a challenge. I'm never gonna say it was easy, but I just went up and go because I know my goal motivation was to get that scholarship so I can get to the NFL. So I just, through all the trials and tribulations I was going through, I knew in the back of my mind, I'm going to make it. So I kept striving through every day. I didn't let nothing stop me.
Absolutely. And kind of touching upon, some of the trials that you went through, how much of a help was Coach Beam's wife in order to kind of dealing with some of those issues?
She was a major help. She helped me. She helped me when I had a panic attack at practice, and she still checked up on me, seeing if I was okay, seeing how I was doing. So it wasn't just a one-time thing. She always checked on me to make sure I was okay. I really appreciate that because she could have just did it one time for Coach Beam and be like, okay, I'm done with him. But for her to reach out personally and still continue to be worried about my health, I really appreciate that. And I took that as like she did it for genuine love for me. Like she wanted to see me be okay mentally.
Absolutely. Going back to the your end of your JUCO career, you guys obviously, unfortunately, missed the playoffs, but you guys ended on a very nice streak, which culminated in a victory on senior night and also a blowout in your guys' final game of the season. What was it like to go out with your brothers like that?
You know, it was great. It was great. My last few JUCO games, to end up with a bang like that, it was great to end off with a bang with my brothers. We know it was our last time being with each other, stuff like that. So it was a lot of tears, but a lot of joy, and a lot of stories. So I'm grateful for all my JUCO brothers I had to be a part of life with. So shout out to all my JUCO brothers.
Absolutely, shout out to them. Last question talking about your JUCO career was when your story ended from the football standpoint. We jumped from the end of the season meeting, you guys leaving, then obviously to your journey to Hawaii. Can you kind of fill in the gap of what was that time like leaving JUCO, then obviously heading to Hawaii?
That gap was also crazy too. I have a lot of nerve-wracking times in my life. I'm just realizing this. But I didn't have a scholarship. I had a lot of interest in colleges, but no one never really pulled the trigger. So I was scared. It's like, is my football career done with? Like, what's gonna happen next? Like, I can't be done. I just started. So it was kind of scary. And so when Coach Bean called me about Hawaii's gonna want to take a chance on me, but they're gonna want me to walk on, and hearing it from University of Hawaii, Coach Dre at the time, he called me and told me what the plan was going to be. It was, okay, is this the right move? Because I'm going to Hawaii where I'm farther away from my mom because she lives in Arkansas. Um, I'm farther away from my mom. I only have Jared, and Jared has one more year left. So what am I going to do? Is this the right move? But then that was my only move. So I talked to my mom, talked to Coach Beam about this, said this is the best move for you. This is the right place to be. So I took a leap of faith and came here. And then once I found out Rolovich was gone and then Dre was gone, that's when I was kind of got scared again. I almost went back. I almost went back to my mom to regroup, see what I want to do again. But they just told me to stay and see what's going to happen. So I'm kind of glad I stayed.
Absolutely, and definitely having parental support, whether that be your own parents, other parents, is such a huge element in anyone's journey. If you don't mind me asking, can you just speak about what your mom has meant through such a turbulent time?
My mom is my superhero. She has been there with me through thick and thin. And even when I was living with her, when I have problems, I always go to her and tell her what's going on. She always used to give me a scripture. What scripture would hit me the most was Psalms 23, the Psalms of David. Psalms 23, verse 6. That's my favorite verse. I got it tatted on me, and she gave me that verse. It basically is whenever you're going through hard times, just know God's gonna be there, and it's always gonna be better days. That's what I got from that verse, and I really appreciate how my mom really helped me out through my journey in life. uh, my transition in high school, my transition in JUCO, and my transition now. She's seen her little boy grow into a man, and I seen my mom turn to Wonder Woman sometimes, and I love that woman to death.
Absolutely. Like I was saying, having that support is so crucial. You also mentioned obviously you had support from families in Hawaii, but also Jared Smart's father. I believe his name is Keith, who was a former
Yeah.
professional basketball player and coach. Has he kind of shined a light on what it was like for him to be an athlete, and has that impacted you in any way?
It was Jared's mom and pops really helping me out. So whenever they came down Hawaii, they give us little stories about his college career and stuff like that. So his insight on how college went for him and how college is going now since he's a coach, stuff like that. It's helping a lot. It's helping us professionally how to understand professionalism in the sport and stuff like that. So excuse me, I'm sorry. His words, his voice, his stories help us out. And also Jared's mom, she helped us in a different way, not with sports stuff like that, but like as a person, like personal reasons, like personal stories, stuff like that. She helped us out. She talked to us on what we can do or what we can do better.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for talking to us about your time at Laney. Let's transition back towards the now. Obviously, you guys are headed into the 2022 season. You guys have a lot of expectations for the Mountain West Conference and what your guys' performance in there. But can you talk about your own personal expectations headed into the 2022 season?
I think my own expectations for the 2020 season is man, just be a leader. Just be a leader for this team and also try to be that beacon of hope for Hawaii. I think as of right now, we're going through a lot right now. Um, and I feel like if I can just be that beacon of hope with me and along a few other players, I feel like we can change this whole program around this season. I expect a lot from me. I expect me to really step up. It's been 2 years. I sat and watched back for 2 years on how to play this level. So now I think I'm ready. I like I said, I can't wait. I don't have a lot of words to say. I just know my season starts Tuesday.
Absolutely. And with your new season, obviously UH will be going through a quarterback change. Former starting quarterback Chevin Cordero did transfer to San Jose State University. Now the quarterback competition is between Braden Schrager, who played a couple games last season for UH, and also Washington State transfer Cameron Cooper. For you, what are you doing to prepare yourself, or what are you expecting from having to transition to a new quarterback?
Uh, so for now, I just throw with all the quarterbacks who's here right now. Like, because we don't know whoever's gonna be. I'm never gonna be the type of one to just be one quarterback and get chemistry with him. I want chemistry with all the quarterbacks just in case if one starts. What about he get hurt? So now I still have connections with this backup quarterback, and then I have the third string quarterback. So I throw with all the quarterbacks. I'm never picking who I run my routes with. We should all have chemistry and stuff like that. So whoever starts the first game against Vandy, just know me and that quarterback are gonna have extreme chemistry. Like it's gonna be love. It's gonna be love and poetry between me and the quarterback. That's what I can say.
Absolutely. Headed into this season, couple Mountain West opponents, like I said, Chevin Cordero went to San Jose State, and also defender Justice Tavaya went to San Diego State. What do you think it's gonna be like playing against guys that you shed so many sweat, blood, and tears with?
I love them to death and stuff like that. But on the field, they're enemies. On the field, I have to win. Off the field, it's going to all jokes is funny like and stuff like that. But on the field, we're here to compete. We're here to win.
Absolutely, and definitely your mindset is towards this upcoming season. I'm excited to see you play. Your journey to Hawaii has clearly been a long and difficult one. Do you have any regrets on the road you've taken, and what do you hope to achieve in your personal future? Football and also off the field as well.
I don't have any regrets. I learned to never live life with any regrets, stuff like that. So all my decisions I made, all the decisions I made is not regretful. happy I made the decision to come here. I'm happy the decisions I made here. So it's no regrets. I just really I'm really just learning to be how to be a better man. And now I'm learning just how to be a better leader. So I'm taking classes on how to be a better leader, how to talk to people more and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for my future here in Hawaii.
But definitely, I think I speak on behalf of all UH fans to say that we're excited for you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Before we head out, is there anything you want to say to any UH fans or supporters?
Uh, don't give up on us yet. Uh, we're going to be that beacon of hope right now. Right now, it's a lot going on. That's really just be with us. Even talk to us a little bit if y'all have any problem stuff like that. I know my Twitter is always open, stuff like that. But just understand, like, we love you guys. Uh, we want to be back on top, and it's going to happen. Just continue to support us. That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dior, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a good one. To everybody listening, I hope you guys have enjoyed it and can't wait to talk to you guys soon. Bye.